Hello and welcome back. So I am a month late on this video, but I still wanted to do the mid-year book freakout tag, but then also I was seeing the mid-year book calm down tag. So I'm gonna put them together in one video and we'll do it here. Let's start with freaking out so that we can end calming down. So number one for the freakout tag is your best book so far. And I'm going to go with Sword of Truth by Gilbert Morris. This one I read with Bethany over at Bethany Brings Books. This is a historical Christian. It's just very good. There's so much information about that time in history, and it's just really, really good. So I highly recommend that one. The best sequel so far, it was one of two. It could either be A Deadly Business by Alice Well, which is book 2 in that series, or it could be Price of Freedom, which is book 2 in I forget what the series name is called actually. The next question is a new release I'm excited for, and I'm really not too much of a new release reader, so I don't really have anything on the radar that has been recently released. So let me know in the comments below if you know of a book that was released in 2025 that you think I might like. Okay, I just needed to change my chair situation. So question number 4 is most anticipated release. So a book that is coming out in the last half of 2025, and I'm going to go with Crown of Beauty and Anarchy by Aurora Bell. I'll leave her Instagram link down below where you can check out all of her updates and release information. Question number 5, my biggest disappointment was Splintered. I forget who the author was, but it was on my 40 books to read before I turned 40, and I read that one and I was quite disappointed. And you can see that actually in my video when I realized that it's in first person present tense. So I did end up reading that book, and I didn't feel like the story saved that element of it, so it was my biggest disappointment. Because it is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and those are some of my favorite retellings. Question number 6 was my biggest surprise, and I would have to say The Unexpected Guest by Agatha Christie, because usually I like half of Agatha Christie and the other half of Agatha Christie, so this one could have gone either way, but because this one was a short story, I was really impressed with how much I liked it. A favorite new to me author would be Carol Umberger, who wrote this series that I read this year. I can't remember what the series name is, but I will put it here so you can see. Question number 8 is newest fictional crush. I don't do book crushes. Question number 9 is newest favorite character. I would say Greg from the Over the Garden Wall series. Not only have I started reading the graphic novel series, but my husband and I also watched the series, and I just love Greg. He's so cute. Question 10, book that made me happy. I don't really have one. Book that made me cry. I don't cry in books. Question number 12, a movie or TV show that I watched that was based on a book. Okay, so I actually read The Three Musketeers and watched every version of The Three Musketeers I could get my hands on. I was filming a vlog and lost almost all of that footage, so unfortunately I won't be posting that vlog, which was so sad, but it was a really fun experience to just really immerse myself in The Three Musketeers and the different iterations of it. Question 13, most beautiful cover that I've hauled, so that I've added to my physical collection. The Princess and the Goblin and the Princess and Curdy, and you might be thinking, those aren't very pretty covers. Wait till you see the hardback. These are the hardback editions in this cloth-bound pattern. It is so, so beautiful. I absolutely love these. The last one for the freakout tag is a book I need to read before the end of the year, and my friend Bethany, whom I've already mentioned, and I are going to be reading the second book in the Wakefield trilogy, or Wakefield Dynasty. We're going to be reading the second book this month, so that's for sure the number one on my TBR radar at the moment. So now that we've finished freaking out, let's go ahead and answer some of the calm down tag questions. And this tag was written or created by Leandra the TBR0. I saw it on Whitney's channel. The most relaxing book? I don't really label books like this, so relaxing, I don't know. I will go with Mrs. Jeffries Weeds the Plot, because a good Mrs. Jeffries is always comforting. I don't know. I always love returning to that series. Question 3, a book that I needed? I don't really know. We're gonna go with Every Woman a Theologian by Felicia Masonheimer. And this one I needed because I was a part of my church's book club, which required you to read this book. So the next question, a book that energized me. I don't know what that means, so I don't have an answer. An author I returned to would be Melanie Dickerson. I read The Noble Servant. It was kind of a middle of the road book for me, so I can't really like hype about it, but it was fine. But she is an author that I've read the majority of her books. Question 6, a book I read that was outside my comfort zone. I read Not Exactly Eden by Linda Windsor, and I read this one as part of my childhood reads in May because I read this one as a teenager, so I was coming back to it to see what I thought of it. And that one is a contemporary romance, and that's not a genre I choose to read usually. Question 7, any changes in my reading taste? I think I'm noticing myself tolerating YA a little less and less, so I'm assuming I will just slowly stop reading YA. I don't know. Question 8, a book or habit that I'm leaving behind. Not a habit, but a book will be, I actually read The Eye of the World, which is book 1 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, and I was planning to collect the whole series and read the whole series because I've heard such good things about it, and I have the second one on my shelf, but I don't know that I'll be returning to it, at least not in any time in the future. Like, it's really off my TBR pretty well, unless something else reignites my interest, so I will be leaving The Wheel of Time behind. Question 9, an anticipated book or events. Well, I already mentioned Crown of Beauty and Anarchy by Aurora Bell. I'm really anticipating this book. I'm so excited for it. Then the next one, and the last one, is a personal plan or a goal. I don't usually give myself too many bookish goals anymore. I used to when I started, but I don't really anymore. But I have, okay, so let me just preface this by saying, at the beginning of the year, the beginning of 2025, it was actually a loose goal of mine to read less, okay? So then we come to the halfway point of the year, and I've only read like 40 books, which is a lot less than I normally do, because in the past few years I've been able to hit the 200 book mark. So I guess I'm succeeding with that initial goal. However, at this point, having read 40 books, beginning of August, I do want to see if I can make it to 100 for 2025. So that means reading 60 more books. And I am reading a lot of graphic novels this year, so I feel like that's quite attainable. So that is the end of both of the book tags. I know I'm a month late, but oh well, here it is. Hopefully you guys were able to hear me fine, and I wanted to do a video outside. I haven't done a video outside this year yet, in my yard. So I really wanted to do that yet before it gets cold. And we get such short summers here that it's gonna be cold really soon. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyway, tangent. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!